How we doing, everyone? Welcome to the Unlucky Charms. I'm Sonny. I'm here with Dizzi and Gherk and our own Cheshire Cat in the corner. We're three Egypts with the gift of the gab, trying to provide education, humour and insight into our crazy world.
I'm Gherk. I'm going to tell you a little bit more about what we're about in the podcast. So we're not afraid to push boundaries. We're ready to talk about anything, everything. Let us know what you'd like to hear from us in the comments or send us DMs to our socials. That'll be in the description box. Our main aim is to have a laugh, to help people who feel lost, the loners, the outcasts, whatever you want to call us. The world is a bad enough place, so we want to use our humour and our gift of the gab to break it up. I'm going to pass you over to Dizzi, and she's going to tell you what topics we're going to cover.
Well, it's for water, lads. So basically, next week and over the next coming weeks, what you can expect from us is Madness Monday, where we feature bands around from our local city. Reaction Wednesdays, which are on YouTube Shorts and TikTok. And the Unlucky Charms podcast is Friday, and stay tuned for us on Sundays, where we get together, play games and talk absolute shite. And basically each week there will be a phrase of the day brought to yours truly, Dizzi. And this week's phrase of the day is neck like a jockey's bollocks. Has anyone ever heard of that, lads? Neck like a jockey's bollocks?
I don't believe I have.
I certainly have.
No, I've never heard it. I don't really understand what it means. I would like you to please explain it.
What's the phrase before you explain it?
Neck like a jockey's bollocks.
Neck like a jockey's bollocks.
Yeah.
I haven't heard it, but I do like it. I don't know, I assume it's because of the bouncing of the horse or where his bollocks is, but I don't know.
Funny you should ask that. Actually, I have to give my mate's mum credit for this one, because this is where I first heard it. I say it was about 10 years ago. Must have been when I was 14, 15. You could just imagine what was going through my mind. She was like, I can't remember who's on about it, but she was like, he's got a neck like a jockey's bollocks. I was like, oh Jesus, what does that mean? She was like, basically, to put it in layman's terms, in the recent case that's been happening between AH and JD, basically AH has got a neck like a jockey's bollocks to play off the Me Too movement. It's basically, she's got a lot of nerve. So if Sonny was to say to me, you've got a neck like a jockey's bollocks, he's basically saying, I've got nerve. I've got neck to be doing what I'm doing.
Is it because you put your bollocks on top of the horse?
Yeah. It's like fucking John Wayne.
Yeah, it's like, man, you got balls to put them on top of that beast.
But who's John Wayne?
He's like an old-time cowboy.
He's I'm John Wayne. He's like the stereotypical cowboy, you know, after the voice.
Do you know?
I have no idea.
When people
he walks with his legs like he's got rickets after here.
Do you know when people say you'd be walk after like sexual intercourse, when people be like, if it's good to be walking like John Wayne after it, that's where the term comes, because your legs are buckling and you're walking weird after you get off a horse.
I don't know, lads. Sometimes I think I'm not well cultured, but I also think it's because I spend so much time reading shite on the internet.
I wouldn't consider John Wayne to be like a good culture necessarily. He's like 50s, 60s, 70s spaghetti westerns. Now they would have been the height of spaghetti westerns. They weren't B movies. He would have been like a highly paid actor, like Cary Grant, kind of. I think that's the wrong name. I'm thinking of someone from the 40s. Don't matter. But basically, he's just the cowboy in the 50s and 60s in American movies.
Okay, so this kind of reminds me of the story that I read about this week. It's about this place in Wales. You might know this. It's Port Call. From September 23rd to September 25th, there's a festival about Elvis, and they have a competition where they rate the best Presley pugs. Dogs dressed up as Elvis and people.
That'd be so cute, just with the little with the little clips.
35,000 people dressed up as Elvis last year in this tiny place. Well, I don't know if it's tiny. It's in Wales.
Did Elvis have a pug?
I don't think he had any dogs.
Why is it pug related? I don't
know maybe because they've
have you seen him? You know, his last video of him playing at the piano kind of looked like a pug.
So small.
Yeah, to be fair,
I don't like Elvis. I know one or two songs and I've heard them like 5 times.
So you're part of the I hate Elvis.
Yeah,
because Chuck Berry's the king of rock and roll, and it will never be
Well, it's it's your opinion.
Well,
there'd be some people that would argue I'm not going to, but there would be some people.
Now again, we'd love to know what you listeners think. Are you for Elvis, or who did you say was
Chuck
the king?
Berry.
Chuck Berry.
Johnny B. Good, Maybelline, that guy.
Oh, well, I have to say.
Also because Chuck Berry's black and Elvis stole it from them, so fuck Elvis.
Well, at least we saw the movie this week, and there was like 3 of us in three of them main choices.
And I'm still here confident being like, nah, you're wrong.
I will say that the movie actually did show
bring a lot of insight.
Where he got the music from. It credited a lot of the artists.
It's not more that he stole it, it's more that he grew up in that culture and
I understand that he's like the Eminem rapping kind of thing.
Yeah, that's it.
50s Eminem, and I get that. I also don't like Eminem, I don't like, and it's not that I don't like them because of cultural appropriation or bollocks, I just don't like their music. Eminem's good. I just don't like his voice. It just annoys me. He's too whiny or something.
That's good. I can even artists I wouldn't predominantly listen to, just say Elton John, but I appreciate what he's done for music, and I respect he is a really good artist.
Have you ever heard a song? I think I'm gonna kill myself. It's a great song. It's so upbeat.
Oh, thank God you said that was a song. That was brought into conversation. I was like, we could just dish things out on this podcast. We're all friends here.
The dirt.
For me, that was a quick left.
That was just so brought in so well. Yeah, it was just easily brought in. I was like, I'm so glad that you can feel comfort in me. That's what we're here for, lads. Come join us if you're a loner.
No, again, how
does that work? Are we the antisocial social club anyway?
Yes.
Now, again, has any of our listeners went to see the Elvis movie? And again, what are your opinions? Feel free to DM us. And I do have to say, one thing that's come across my life is all these kind of life hack videos. And you see, if you turn the lid of a pot upside down, you can pour out the water without having to spill any of your food. I personally think how to cook a rasher in the microwave is the best life hack around at the moment. And basically it consists of 3 things. 1 piece of kitchen paper, 1 plate, and 1 rasher, baby. What you need to do, get yourself that plate, get yourself that rasher, put them together, make them comfortable. Then what you need to do is lay that kitchen paper upon it as if it's, slowly drifting off to sleep. Pop it in the microwave for 3 minutes. Now again, Gherk's the one that taught me this, so for any of our listeners who thinks this is wrong, feel free to message her directly.
This is really important, guys. I don't do this anymore. I don't have a microwave. But please don't forget to put a piece of kitchen paper underneath the rashers. Otherwise, you're going to have really watery plate rasher water. And
we could just fry our rashers.
Yeah.
Sometimes I put them in the oven.
I don't want tapeworms.
You won't get sick.
Tapeworms will make you sick immediately. You won't know for years.
Are they what eat your insides?
Not quite. They are parasites. I think the longest one was a few meters.
Do you ever watch Monsters Inside of Me? Do you ever watch Monsters Inside of Me?
Yeah. My favorite one was the one in Brazil. It's a fish that can swim up your penis. If you go for a piss in a river, it'll swim up the stream.
Have you ever seen videos?
Sounds like an exciting day.
Have you seen those videos of snakes and rats coming through toilets?
Oh yeah. Oh, in Australia, where the spiders hang upside down. They hang up above you. Yeah. That's terrifying. You could just drop.
But no, tapeworms. They don't eat your insides more so, but they would I think they attach to your bowels or bloodstream. I'm not really too sure.
I think it's your intestines.
But they can also be found elsewhere if they break away and pass into the bloodstream and get lodged elsewhere. And that can cause a lot of problems. But they do grow to be meters. They're like tapeworms, measuring tapeworms.
I've seen people do natural detoxes, right? Because I'm in this group. I don't advocate for everybody to be in these spiritual enlightenment groups because you're going to see some weird shit, lads. And there were these people doing detoxes and these ionic foot baths. I don't know what else they were ingesting, but they thought it was appropriate to send in pictures of what they'd passed. Oh, lads, worms in toilets that looked like fucking snakes that were fucking, would make your skin crawl.
Do you want to know how you get rid of a tapeworm?
Go on.
Hold a piece of raw meat at either end. Your choice.
I'd rather it come out the back end though, rather than the front end.
I do agree, because that's how it's meant to work. Stuff goes in and comes out.
I would just feel more comfortable sitting on a toilet not seeing it. You know what I mean? Because if yeah.
You passing the tapeworm in the corner. What's happening?
Surprise! I told you, expect the unexpected with our channel.
I needed a new light necklace.
Want to add to the collection?
We'll dehydrate and freeze it.
On that note, monsters inside me used to actually be nightmares. Like just 11-year-old me sitting there thinking I can handle this. Like where was I actually going? This was so, and people used to be in a hospital bed like half dead, half cut just there, and like this thing passing through. It's like The Exorcist. It's like it's like an exorcism was happening.
It reminds me of that movie Teeth, but wait, whoa! Before we say any more, I'm not going to actually mention anything about the movie for all our listeners. We're going to keep it somewhat not family friendly, but I mean, it's people that don't want to know don't need to know. You know that way.
Keep it a comfortable listening level.
Yes, that's it.
Like profanity, profound, all that, but also it's hardly the worst. But go on.
Yeah. Other than that, I don't know.
You mentioned Teeth, and you were going to mention the building.
I mentioned Teeth, and then I started thinking about it, and then it absolutely destroyed me.
What's your favourite movies of all time? Go on.
Horror or
any category. Like, what's your favourite? What's a movie that you watched and it really like just touched you in a way you've never been?
What came into my head, which is awful. Have we all seen Insidious?
What's my favourite movie of all time? Good Will Hunting. Has everybody seen Good Will Hunting?
No, I haven't actually.
Boring.
You thought it was boring?
I like the fart scene.
I haven't seen it.
It was his wife farting, but no, I saw it, but I think I saw it maybe slightly too young, like maybe when I was like 15, and I was just kind of like, this is slow. It's like funny.
Next, you're gonna say you don't like Rain Man.
It's good, but why would you watch it again?
I haven't seen Rain.
I haven't seen it either.
It's really good. It's basically it's set in the 80s. So it's it's from the 80s. So the tone's automatically a bit different. But the dude's basically autistic, but like idiot savant level.
Yeah.
And like one of the scenes in it is someone drops a box of toothpicks in a restaurant, and he says like 247, and the box says 250 or something, and his brother is just like, better look next time. But the waitress shows him the box, and it's like 250, and there's 3 still in it that he didn't see.
Yeah.
But it's that's when his like brother realizes like, oh, you're not just basically. That's like that point of the film. It's really good. It's a good film, but
again, you'd only watch it once.
Not that I only watch it once. It's just not like
it's one of those movies.
That's one of my favorite films. It's just
it's like, what will we all gather around and watch tonight?
Is your favorite film ever gonna be Shawshank Redemption? It's good, but like
it's something you watch once.
I studied that for the cert lads. I had to watch it so many times.
Which one?
Shawshank Redemption. I did not write about it. I don't know why we watched it. I don't know in what aspect I studied it.
We had to study the King's Speech. Absolutely brilliant.
Why Good Will Hunting?
It's just like a modest lifestyle, and a guy who knows he's kind of better than everybody, just knowing it and not having to show it, that way.
I guess it's because he's just the janitor, but he's also the genius.
Yeah, that type of way, like, you know what I mean? It's just, you never know who you're going to bump into. That guy could be a genius, or that guy could be an absolute fool.
Yeah. And my favourite movie of all time is Rocky Horror Picture Show.
That's a really
Soft
good
Jim
choice.
Curry for actually pulling off that in the 70s in 1975 as a transvestite for the Transylvania Transvestite Convention. Absolutely brilliant. At 8 years of age, it was probably one of the first movies I remember, and absolutely traumatised because I didn't understand it, and I still don't. But absolutely, hats off. Brilliant film.
I only watched it for the first time 2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago.
Just lads, if you know the time warp, the time warp, if you know, you know.
Actually, since you said that, have you seen Clue?
No.
Oh, you're gonna fucking love Clue. So Clue is it's a movie inspired by the board game. But Tim Curry's the fucking butler.
It's brilliant.
It's a fantastic film. Everything about it is it's kind of camp. It's kind of ridiculous. You really like Clue. I promise you, will like it. If you like the Rocky Horror Picture Show,
No, I'll definitely give it a watch. But here's one for you now, following on from that, lads. What's the weirdest film you've ever watched? Like, what's one you literally just can't explain? Like, you just walked out, just been like, actually, what was that? What did I just witness?
Heavy metal.
Never seen it.
Anyone ever heard of it?
Is that on Netflix?
No.
Oh, it's not. No. It's a 1979 Canadian psychedelic fantasy animated film. Have you ever seen that South Park episode where they all get high on the cat piss?
Yeah.
Have you seen that episode?
No.
Okay,
I can just imagine.
Okay, so just for yourself then, really quickly, the part where Kenny starts going into the boob land.
Yeah.
Heavy metal is what he's seeing. That's what that part is inspired by. You know the way the animation goes, different, and it's the car lady with the big tits.
Yeah.
That's heavy metal, and it's the kind of film that I don't know what's happened in it. I've seen it once or twice, but the reason I don't know what happens in it is because it's a bit weird. It's a bit hard to watch visually. I can't remember the name of the film. Wizard of Oz.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like one of those things. Heavy metal is fucking mental. I'd recommend it. It's good and crazy. 1979 Canadian.
Gherk.
I'm just absorbing it all. Do you know what my head went? I started thinking about the Teletubbies and other stuff that's been banned recently. And how Teletubbies did get banned because it was teaching children non-English and
yeah.
They're creepy little things out of colour as well. Did you ever look that up? The Teletubbies in black and white.
What?
Oh, they look like serial killers. Just look that up. It's Teletubbies in black and white. If you think they're terrifying in colour, look that up. They actually look like 4 serial killers coming for you.
I don't know. I want to see what the little train making cookies looks like in black and white. Or is it pancakes?
Look at any children's thing in black. Children's like show in black and white. Everyone would probably have a dark meaning. Like all of the fairy tales started off really dark. So
Grimm's fairy tales, yeah.
Actually, Grimm's fairy tales were they were like a reinstallation of like the Brother Grimms. They were trying to bring back the gruesome fairy tales.
Okay.
I think they were kind of PC'd up a little bit.
Oh.
I think that was written in the 1800s. I'm not certain. It could be 1600s.
Were they originally German?
Yeah.
The Brothers Grimms were, but the story of Cinderella is from everywhere, basically. And the Globe for, I think it's the oldest as well. I'm not certain. Yeah. And it also wasn't glass slippers. That's a mistranslation. It was squirrel fur.
Oh.
And in the one translation or one version, the evil stepsisters cut off their toes to try and fit into the shoe.
Yeah, I'd rather stick me foot in shite, to be honest, than cut off me foot to fit in a glass slipper.
What about weirdest film though?
Yeah, what's your weirdest film?
If you haven't seen Tusk,
I remember you showed me the trailer. That was a weird one.
Yeah.
Good album too.
Good album.
It's a pretty good Mac album. Tusk.
Is it? You should listen to that and watch this movie because you need some. You will need some to ground yourself. Very gruesome, really messes with your head. Do not watch after going to an aquarium. Do not put on David Attenborough after this. Only spoiler I'm going to give you is the Tusk is about Walrus, guys. It's about Walrus.
And if I have to follow on about a warning.
Yeah.
Walrus.
Sorry, guys. If we're following on from films that come with a trigger warning, Human Centipede 1, 2 and 3, definitely don't watch alone. Proceed with caution, and definitely have a very open mind, because
it's not the only thing you want to leave open for watching that film.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You'd
want to leave open the door to go to the bathroom.
I just meant your mouth.
Maybe Bible. Have a Bible nearby so you can, wash your sins away after you're finished watching it.
I just love to see the person at the top play a trumpet. See if they get some extra air going,
So what about you, Sonny? Strangest film you've ever seen?
Oh, Tusk, hands down. I think the one thing about movies that always sticks with me is it's either the music or the quotes.
And what was the other one?
Music and quotes, yes.
For me, it's the vibe, it's the mood, it's all about the big mood. My favourite film ever, I'm fairly confident. It's either 4 films, but you have to watch them all together.
Yeah.
It's Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
My
God. And Dead Poets Society.
I love Dead Poets Society.
Love Breakfast Club.
Or In the Mood for Love by Wong Kar-wai, 2004.
I haven't seen the last 2, but I will commend you on Breakfast Club because that is absolutely fantastic.
So I won't get into the first 4 I mentioned, but they are all from the 80s.
Yeah.
And they're my favourite 80s films.
Respect.
So it was they all kind of count for one for me.
Yeah.
So I'm going to not choose that one. Wong Kar-wai is the name of new wave. It's a type of style. Like new wave film would be originally French from the 60s.
Okay.
But it has new form. It has like... In music, Joy Division, no, not Joy Division, they're post-punk. New Wave would have been like Talking Heads and New Order, that kind of style, or Blondie. It's more of an attitude or a social thing than an actual sound.
Yeah.
I don't know how to put it. It's just like, I don't fucking know. It's like, what does neo soul mean? Who fucking knows? But basically, why I like the film, there's not much said, and there's only really 2 characters. It's made in 2004 and set in 1969, I think, and it's set in the Hong Kong tenements. And it's 2 married couples are living together in apartments, and you only see just say left and right for now. You only see like the wife from the right door, and you only see the husband of the left one. You don't see the other 2 spouses, basically, for the entire film ever.
Oh.
And I can't remember how it exactly opens or whatnot, but it's just the shots. There's always frames within frames, and the whole thing is like an emotional affair, and then the other 2 are off actually having an affair.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's fucked up.
But it's a long film as well for how slow it is. It's like 2 hours or
I
something.
can just imagine a 20-minute scene and they're just looking into each other's eyes from each other's doorways.
No, not quite that. Like it's a bit grimy, and it's just, you're watching it and you're like, any frame of this could go on my wall. You know, that level of it. It's just, that's beautiful. And there's nothing said for like the last 5 minutes. But favorite quotes.
Yeah, just first, actually, I didn't mention my strangest
film,
which I'll just bring in really quickly. It's movie 43.
What was it?
Movie 43.
Movie 43.
Especially the scene between Anna Kendrick and Chris Pratt. That takes on a whole new meaning to take a dump on me, because that just left me questioning life. I don't understand. I think that's what the movie was meant to do. It's like 10 movies in one.
I actually remember asking you to turn it off. I was like, I can't keep watching this.
And a question for all our listeners. Would you leave your significant other on you? Yes. Now, if
you've seen the movie,
you'll understand. Yeah. No more. And Gherk, favourite quote?
This one is open to interpretation. I'll explain the meaning if you want, but I want this to bounce around the room. Ponder. I am not what you think I am. You are what you think I am.
I am not what you think I am. You are what you think I am.
Sounds like something Shakespeare would have said.
I have no idea. I don't have a credit for this, so
I'm speechless.
Well, if I answer that, does that change who I am?
We don't judge.
Well, no, because if I want what I think, does that mean I don't know? I'll come back to you in a second. I want to hear what you guys think, because it's possibly one of those quotes that might just be, to me, it could be just one of those meaningless ones, like circle. But I want to see if I can find it.
Don't look at the image now. That's cheating. You should just focus on the word.
I think it reminds me of a Childish Gambino lyric, which is, don't be mad because I'm doing me better than you doing you. As in, like, don't be mad at me because I'm doing my life better than you're doing your life, kind of thing.
Kind of.
No, but like, that's what I'm saying. It's the closest thing I can think. It's not quite, so... Yeah.
That's what it reminds you of.
Yeah,
it's probably open to interpretation, like Gherk said before. Like, it's however one perceives that quote.
Yeah.
What do you think, Dizzy?
Can you say it to me again, please?
I am not what you think I am. You are what you think I am.
Like, to me, I'm just getting all like Shakespeare vibes off that. Like,
but what do you think it means?
I think the phrase is like almost slightly too literal at the end. I think it's more, it seems to be, I don't know, to me it's like, you're not what you think that person is, you're almost the opposite of what you think that person is.
Your interpretation isn't wrong.
No, I mean, as in, like, the kind of, if you're calling someone else shallow, you might be shallow, kind of thing. Yes. But I had another example a second ago that wasn't quite.
I think it's one of those quotes you really have to think about a little bit, like, well, for me anyway.
But then again, we could just think about anything to this extent.
Yeah, to the extent.
What do you think, so?
But I think I'd have to put a little thought into that to actually think what I'd actually perceive it as.
Yeah. I have no idea.
I'm
speechless. Sonny's broken this quote. I apologize to our listeners. If any of you have an actual reason or explanation as to what this means, that's okay. But my brain is confuzzled.
And I apologize for this, but it's just one of those phrases that I would like read it and instantly scoff. It's like, to me, it's like, tomorrow is today's yesterday. You know what I mean? I don't know. That's just, anyway.
Every day you live is a day you breathe.
You said that quote. The instant movie that came to my head was Groundhog Day for some reason. Reliving the same day over and over and over again.
Now, to all our listeners, let me just say, hashtag not doctors here. Yes.
Yeah, hashtag not professionals.
Yeah.
Sonny?
We're in the rabbit hole now.
Yeah, we're just a bunch of Alice alone.
No matter what of the quote, good choice for conversation.
Yeah, thank you.
Sonny, what's your favourite or quote or that you've heard recently?
Favourite quote?
Yeah.
That I've heard recently.
Or just one in general.
How'd you like them apples?
Oh, I love it.
How'd you like them apples? For all those listeners that don't know what that means, I'm not even going to explain. All I'm going to say is the fact that I know and you don't know.
I don't think you know either.
Yeah, how'd you like?
How'd you like them apples?
Yeah.
Serve it to him on a plate, Sonny. I heard one recently on RuPaul's Drag Race. I'm giving credit to RuPaul's Drag Race. Love a bit of Ru. Shout out to my queen, the Vivian, our British queen for this one. She was on the runway and I literally nearly wet my pants. She goes, I have shoes that can kick shit into space. And I cried. I was like, you know what, she said it with such fierceness. I was like, I need to get me some shoes that will kick shit into space. It just makes me, her shoes are out of this world. I thought that was a really good, metaphor for that. That's just something that made me laugh and brought joy. I have to give credit to that. Some of these queens are really funny. I would just shout out to our listeners here, go watch it. Yeah. Bit of entertainment. It's literally 12 drag queens in a room together fighting for a crown. So it's just full of bitchiness. Lovely, wonderful. Cheshire?
I'm really bad with words in terms of remembering them.
Yeah.
Like you with music and lyrics, I just don't fucking hear them. So they're either all jokes.
Yeah.
Or entire verses of songs.
Give us a joke.
So I was blowing this guy in the bathroom the other week and it turns out I was like, the fuck? That's a Bo Burnham joke. It's the only joke of his I like. I heard it one day, and the instant incongruity in the sentence, position, I just couldn't deal with. And then the second I heard it, it just broke my logic systems or processors or whatever. It was just fucking brilliant.
Absolute genius.
But no, I see it could be anything from. I do like "Blessed are the cracked, for they let the light in."
Oh yes, I like this as well.
Yeah,
my friend has something similar tattooed on her leg.
I believe the one I know though is from Groucho Marx, who was a comedian from the 40s. You know the Marx Brothers. Yeah, when people say Marx, they usually mean the communist one. I'm meaning the 30s, 40s comedy group instead of communist group. Very close, but yeah. No, you know the mirror scene in any slapstick comedy, there's two people and there's a gap in the wall and it looks like a mirror. So and they're they look identical. Basically.
Yeah.
They're mimicking each other. That's from the Marx Brothers in a film called Duck Soup. You know, and it's just still a trope that keeps going. It's like Buster Keaton he stands in front of a house and the front falls and he lands and he's standing in the window.
Yeah.
And he survives because he didn't get hit because there's no wall there. That's originally from him. That joke, you'd see everything. You really like Buster Keaton as well, by the way. He's really funny. Also, he wasn't fucking around. That legit happened. He only did a stunt once. Sorry, it's a bit of a tangent, but yeah, I really like this one. He only do a stunt once. If it didn't happen, he didn't do it again. And he did all the stunts, and they were extreme. There's one where, he's sitting on the front of a train that has I don't know if it's a cow catcher or a cow exploder, you know, the triangle thing. I'm sure. I really hope it's called a cow exploder. I don't know, but he's sitting on the front of that while a locomotive is moving. It's moving slowly, but he's running in front of the tracks, picking up the wooden beams underneath because they're not aligned properly. So he's in front of a moving train trying to fix the fucking track and then run back on top of it. There's one where I think he walks out of a house and a train just knocks the entire thing down. It's like this wooden structure that was built for a purpose. He tries to jump across a building and he doesn't quite make it. So he falls all the way down, but he lands on they used to have them outside windows for shade. Like, you know, you see that joke. Yeah. And he just kept it because it was funny, even though he missed it and fell off.
You see this in movies constantly, and like you don't think about
it's from the origin. Yeah, like it's from like the 1920s. Like the general, the one I mentioned, the train, is from 1926.
Do you know what I'd actually like to get into is like those Charlie Chaplin films, those silent movies. I've never actually watched one, but I'd like to give it a go.
I don't have them anymore. I used to have quite a few, and then Ginger Rogers and Fred Astaire films and everything.
Oh, I just had an idea for our listeners. If any of you just have a very, very stressful life and you think life gets a bit too much, let us know. We can do a 30-minute podcast of absolute silence. That would be one of our easier ones.
We can call that one. This is a quote, but I think it is by William Shakespeare. We can call that 30-minute silence. Words.
No. Absolutely.
I don't know if it's by Shakespeare, but I really like the quote regardless. Words.
Well, if you wanted, you could have like a montage of pictures of my feet either. You know, rolling through the clay. There's a market for everything.
Separate DMs for that. Separate DMs.
We'll wait till the socials are set up for that. Separate stream income.
Well, lads, looking at the time for our first podcast, I think we're doing really well. So I will just have to say,
this is a marathon. How long are we going? How long has it been?
Oh, this is non-stop. This is live.
This is live.
We're just forgetting to end this shit. Our biggest following is the FBI.
World down, bitches.
Well, I'm buzzing.
Maybe he does get into everything because of his name. It's not like Get Out and put in.
Do you know what I think it sounds like? Pudding.
Like, seriously, how are you meant to get anything done or end anything now with this tomfoolery going on? Seriously, no.
Yeah.
That's all, folks. 10
hours later.
Right, guys. Thank you for listening to our weird and wacky podcast, where we just went on a tangent basically for nearly 40 minutes, but sure, however. Join us next week where we kick off this channel with Reaction Wednesday. Where we'll be reacting to all the wacky and beautiful things in this world. And Friday then for the Unlucky Charms podcast. And a second reminder to join us on Sunday exclusively to Twitch, where we will just be playing games and talking absolute shite. So remember, lads, if you can't keep it in the pants, keep it in the family. We've been the Unlucky Charms and it's been a pleasure. Sláinte.
Sláinte.